you gay. But to these guys, this is how incoherent their logic is, right? Like so many things, like even licking an ice cream cone can be seen as you having attraction to men, right? But apparently now that also extends to like living with your actual wife. That also shows you have an attraction to men. So listen to this, like, absolute insanity.
Too. So you're telling men don't live with your significant others either?
Yes.
Don't. We tell guys, don't get married and don't live with your girl.
What kind of relationships are you guys even talking about then?
Bro, she lives somewhere else, you live somewhere else.
Yeah, they come together every now and then, do a sleepover.
Don't live with a girl,
Good
bro.
to see you.
Fuck
You're having sleepovers with your wife?
Yeah.
With your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Bro, again, I'm talking from a defensive standpoint to protect the guy. Like, don't live with the girl, don't get married. Absolutely, yeah. And here's the other reason why it's bad. I don't suggest guys live with girls. Like, number one, that mystery is gone. Number two, you're going to get softened up living with your girl because she's going to be like, oh, hang out with me, have ice cream, all this other bullshit. Like, nah, man, you need to be by yourself or live with other guys that got their shit together so you stay sharp.
Yep.
You're living with the bro squad?
Or live by
That's
yourself.
so you guys
or
can
live
have
by
like
yourself.
the keys. The guys on Grindr on average are less gay than guys who are like, I don't live with my significant other 10 years because I'm shacked up with bros that are high value men, so we help each other with our high value lifestyle.
Here's the thing. I didn't say like you need to live with other guys. What I'm saying is that it's better to either live with other dudes or live by yourself, but don't live with your girl is my main point. That's the takeaway.
Okay.
Don't live with your girl.
And that
Do you guys like living with women? Like, is it?
Huh?
No. Once in a while, I'll see you like once a month or like once a week or something like that, but absolutely not.
You guys not like your partners?
No, it's just that living with a girl softens you up, bro.
They become insufferable.
But as a man, that environment is not healthy long term.
Absolutely not.
That's all we're saying.
You don't actually really like
It'll soften you up when you live with them, bro.
Exactly what I was looking for. It solves all the problems. Why would you want to be with her all the time? She's always emotional. She's always going to have a problem. She's going to want to like put her legs on your legs while you're just like chilling.
You're just telling you hate women.
You're working. No, they're great sometimes, and then they get too much and then go away.
So
you go your separate ways.
With being with a woman all the time, but you could handle living with several high value men at the same time.
That sounds like way more enjoyable.
Really bad.
I'm just saying it sounds a little gay.
Well, no, because you'll have more similarities with them. Go to the gym, making money, discuss because getting better.
So that conversation is like absolutely insane and shows like how weird masculinity has got for some people. Like back in the day, it was the manly man lived with his wife and children and was successful in business so he could take care of them. That was the manliest thing you could do. Maybe played college sports. Maybe you were, a boxer or something. You were very manly. Now that's actually seen as gay, and living with a bunch of guys is better because you have more in common. You have more in common. You go to the gym, do business together. Like, when you're making that argument, are you sure you just don't prefer the company of men in general, which they say they do, right? How do these people make the argument being attracted to, like, muscly women is gay when they prefer to spend most of their time around men because they don't actually like women that much, right? I obviously wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys were actually, like, in the closet as well, but it shows you how that worldview is compatible with just general conservative ideology. If you just think women are servants and baby machines, then you don't actually like them. And conservative women have even complained conservative men are super misogynistic to them still, even though they agree with like their ideology completely, because yeah, they don't like women. They don't. They really don't like women. But that's why patriarchy is bad for most people. Like, sure, for people in this podcast talking about how they basically hate women but want children with them and, maybe have sex with them whenever they want. Patriarchy might be a good thing and that you can find someone who might accept that, right? But for most of us, it's a bad thing. For men, like so many men are so insecure, they won't even do things like drink pink lemonade or whatever, because some people, doesn't matter what gender, will say, well, you're effeminate then. You actually like men because you had an ice cream cone on your own or you drank some pink lemonade, right? And now they're saying, well, actually, if you like women and live with women, actually, no, you actually into dudes. Patriarchy is just this prison, and that's why men have such bad mental health struggles, is that they can't step out of the bounds that is the patriarchal view of masculinity. And if you do, you're shunned, you're treated really badly, or like you're abused by people because it's not seen as the norm. And yeah, in certain Western countries, it is quite malleable. You do see people who are quite different, but it is still there. And in many other countries, it's very, very strong, like the gender norms there. And it's a bad thing in general because it's ridiculous and it changes with the times. Like, what colors are associated with what genders, what just general things are associated with what genders, is pretty much a complete societal construct. Even this whole stuff about alpha males, which they say, oh, it's just human nature for men to be like that, is obviously based on pseudoscience. But anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Out of 12 million subs, 25,000 people are pushing the next generation of content at Rooster Teeth. I challenge you, the rest of the weekend you're here, go to panels at VidCon, go to speeches and keynotes, see if anybody ever talks about 25,000 people. If we uploaded a video to YouTube and it got 25,000 views on it, we would assume that there was something technically wrong with it and we would re-upload it. 25,000 views on it, we would assume that there was something technically wrong with it and we would re-upload it.
On March 6, 2024, Rooster Teeth announced its closure. The reactions were of sadness, but not a surprise, because the company at heart died long ago. What was once a passion project of its founders and talented second-wave newcomers has long lost its momentum, reputation, and most importantly, its profitability. It could no longer satiate its many different corporate owners since its selling to Fullscreen in 2014. Its death was a gradual process poisoned by mismanagement, plagued by controversy, and doomed by its loss of identity. This has only been exacerbated in the past 2 years with baffling decisions influenced by its desperation.
There's an honest answer, and that is YouTube revenue just is not cutting it for us anymore. To give you
YouTube.com at Dogberg Show.
Dogberg Show. And that's also all our social media channels as well. So.
This is how it all unfolded and why Rooster Teeth died. A major issue with the dissolution of Rooster Teeth is people are not sure what will happen to the IPs. At best, they'll be distributed to whoever Time Warner wants, and at worst, lawsuits can be involved. It is unknown, but also unlikely that there will be any. But those are just lawsuits at the business level. At the micro scale, those things matter too. But maybe they don't have to be as difficult to process. This is where Morgan & Morgan comes in. Morgan & Morgan is the largest personal injury firm in America. They turned this case into what would have been a $300,000 settlement into a $12.2 million verdict. But Morgan & Morgan doesn't just have the size and experience, they also have ease of access, and most importantly, you don't have to pay unless you win. I just looked up Morgan & Morgan on Google, and this is all it takes to really get into the process of submitting a case evaluation form. They also do cover a wide variety of cases in video. The previous video on Rooster Teeth showed its massive rise to popularity assisted by the mind of Bernie Burns, one of the co-founders that took its widely successful Halo-based series, Red vs. Blue, and turned that into a machine that only knew success. It valued the interaction between friends above all else.
Don't be an asshole.
From Let's Plays to higher quality in-person content, podcast, and even its own anime-style series known as RWBY, formerly directed by the extremely talented and hard-working MWIII. Rooster Teeth had the know-how, passion, and talent to not just adapt, but to thrive in different generations across YouTube. So what happened? But more importantly, when did it happen? In 2024, Rooster Teeth was acquired by Fullscreen. This is a change that rattled fans and employees alike, and it may or may not have been correlated, but since their acquisition, their views, which were already half of what they were the year prior, stagnated but didn't decline. For the next 3 years, they would fluctuate around 50 million views a month, a very sizable amount for their main channel, Rooster Teeth. Some notable existing properties included the YouTube channels Achievement Hunter, the Slow-Mo Guys, and the newly established Funhouse, which was also known as the Rooster Teeth LA office. But it wasn't always like this. Rooster Teeth was primarily known for the machinima like Red vs. Blue, a Halo-themed series that, though fast to gain traction, after several seasons and the introduction of a highly competitive market, the series was on a decline. Rooster Teeth's other vastly popular series, known as RWBY, or just how it's read, RWBY, was picking up the torch. Its creator, MWIII, renowned for his talent in animation and for revolutionizing Red vs. Blue, made the first 3-minute-long trailer for RWBY in just 2 weeks. MWIII was a strange but enthusiastic character. He was a beast that created not only a successful series that directly captures his signature fast-paced combat animation, but also created the first American anime to be exported to Japan. While RWBY had a rough first volume, the following volumes rose in ratings. But in 2015, during an uptick in reviews and the show progressively improving in ratings, MWIII, its creator, passed away. This was due to an allergic reaction from a simple medical procedure. While there was a direction MWIII had in mind for the show before his passing, the grander scale story for the show had not been fleshed out. And after his passing, there were notable changes to the combat choreography that in some areas became significantly slower. The seasons have been on a downward trend in ratings since then, a disappointment since its show promised so much in 2015. By 2016, all projects, save for some channels like the Slow Mo Guys or even Funhouse, showed little growth. Normally this would not mean much, but to a company, they want a return on their investment and they want that money fast. Podcast-style shows were prioritized like never before. These, while not entirely inexpensive to produce, as it still takes a small production crew, were still far cheaper than other projects like Immersion, a series that emulates video game situations in real life. This is to say that the direction of relighting various podcasts created very podcast-centered Rooster Teeth. Fun fact, the podcast section on the Rooster Teeth website is the only section that takes an additional page to load everything. The irony is the focus on turning a profit is what killed Rooster Teeth. The company had survived by leapfrogging from different experimental series that were hardly limited by budget. Their reputation also brought on new talent that would have new creations that also melded well with the original cast, both of which never came again. New hires were not cut from the same cloth. Previously, talented individuals sought out Rooster Teeth and would forego better-paying jobs elsewhere to work in a company they were big fans of. That's why 2019 through 2024 was where the company died. The founders, or even just the core cast, were leaving in droves. Bernie Burns, the charismatic, lovable jerk, both left the company and the US. Joel Heyman was booted due to controversial tweets around COVID and protests. Jeff Ramsey, the impassioned, down-to-earth punching bag, was scarcely making appearances. Second-generation members also left, like Ray Navarez Jr., Lauren Sontag, that ran the profitable Funhouse, and then there was Ryan Haywood and Adam Kovic. These two did not really leave of their own accord because these married men were fired from the company following many accounts of sleeping with fans and worse. Ryan Haywood's accusations were so long that a spreadsheet was made to keep track of them. This turned out to have quite insane elements attached to it, as just before this all came out, Rooster Teeth made it a point to tweet, quote, "This is a regular reminder that we happily and proudly stand for social justice. We have no tolerance for racism, sexism, or harassment of any kind. If you're not with us, this is an airport, no need to announce your departure. Heart." Unquote. This tweet was in response to a different controversy where Mika Burden, a former Rooster Teeth employee and daughter of the famous LeVar Burton of Star Trek fame, tweeted out that the reason she left the company was because of the lack of support in the company when she was involved in her own controversies surrounding opinions that did not resonate within the Rooster Teeth viewership. This was sparked by a tweet remarking that she was mistreated, and ultimately culminated into Mika Bird's father retweeting her stating, quote, "As a company, at Rooster Teeth failed you and your right to work in an environment absent of blatant racism. Hopefully now they will address their toxic company culture." Unquote. On the business side, Rooster Teeth was performing terribly. The company was heavily trying to transition not just to an animation studio, but also a subscription video on-demand service. This is akin to Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, HBO Max, and Apple TV. Rooster Teeth, this small company, through the leadership of Warner Media, was thinking it could step into the ring against these titans. What they had to offer was a small catalog of newly animated series that in 2017 cost nearly as much as Netflix. To add to this, Rooster Teeth always had patrons that were paying Rooster Teeth as sponsors. They did not get many benefits and were giving money to them as one would a creator's Patreon. This change to them paying for a service rather than patronage was indicative of the corporatization of the company and made it clear that the money would go to line the pockets of the parent company. The most disastrous example of this greedy, doomed to fail model was Genlock. This series always poisoned the company in one way or another. The first season, through the mismanagement of Grey Haddock, had employees work overtime. The overtime went unpaid. Brought in interns which worked and were burnt out through crunch time, all of which were not paid at all. It also cannibalized budget from other projects like Nomad from Nowhere, all for a series that only appeared on Rooster Teeth first. The trailer alone got way below lackluster reception, and when the decision was made to release just the first episode on YouTube, it did not even pass 1 million views. It barely even scratched half of that. It was a spectacular failure. It drained the company of money and burned its tattered reputation. But it doesn't end there. When Season 2 was announced, it was revealed that for the first 90 days, this Rooster Teeth product was not even going to appear on Rooster Teeth, but on HBO Max, a property that is also owned by Time Warner. This madness of direction was beyond comprehension. Rooster Teeth was not even a headless chicken, because at least those can put one foot in front of the other before death. This brings us to Rooster Teeth's foreboding demise in late 2022. The YouTube channels Rooster Teeth, Achievement Hunter, and even Funhouse were beyond unprofitable. In no world could the couple thousands of dollars these channels were individually paying out be able to support the talent and production crew involved. There were already mass layoffs in the past, and current and competing numbers show that even with those, the employee base was beyond 200. But that pool was about to get even smaller. In October of 2022, there were high-profile firings. This was the catalyst to talk about the Rooster Teeth firings, and the conversation around it was erupting. Stealing the show was Kaden Jensen, a former Rooster Teeth employee that transitioned in 2016 and left Rooster Teeth in 2022. Adding to the current ongoing conversation, they tweeted, quote, "If y'all think what you saw today was awful, and it was and is, understand that this only got your attention because it was someone high-profile. It's been happening the whole time, for a long time. Y'all ever wonder why I left?" Unquote. What Kaden followed up with was a over 2,000-word twitlonger. Here they detail their hiring in late 2013. Quote, "Within a few weeks of working at Rooster Teeth, I was given a nickname. That nickname was a slur. Every day I came into work, I was called the F word. But they could not use that name in content, so when anyone was recording, I was called Fugs instead. In 2016, I came out as trans, and many people at the company publicly voiced their support on social media. Inside the company, however, things got worse. People had no idea how to deal with a trans woman, so I was interacted with even less and only trotted out every so often to show off, quote-unquote, we hire LGBTQIA plus people. It was only at this point where the nickname Fugs finally stopped being used all the time. 3 years of content with that name being used toward me, and all the content is still up." Unquote. They also detailed their experience of Rooster Teeth brunch culture and lack of credit. Quote, "My hours in that department were 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I was crunching harder than before. I wasn't allowed to be in anything. I had my name removed from everything I worked on." Unquote. Kaden also mentions they brought their grievances to HR, but that was highly ineffective. The crunch, the pay, the lack of support. All of this was Kaden's experience. Closing it off by saying there were only a handful of good people at the company. There were responses all around to Kaden's tweet. Co-founder Jeff Ramsey apologized, mentioning they also apologized to Kaden when they transitioned and again in 2020. Popular second-generation Rooster Teeth employee Gavin Free, Michael Jones, and Jack Patillo also apologized, saying they looked back disgusted at themselves and what they said to Kaden. Mika Burton also took to Twitter to back up Kaden's claims with her own experiences. Quote, "The people speaking up about their horrific treatment at Rooster Teeth isn't news. Seeing N-word written on a whiteboard wasn't even close to my worst experience there." Unquote. Across the board, there were many former and current Rooster Teeth employees apologizing or even supporting Kaden's tweet. On October 16, the Rooster Teeth Twitter released their own statement, which was very dense in corporate speak and lack of action. This lack of substance that was also placed alongside the previous tweets where they were trying to establish their moral positioning was all backfiring. Their apology was overshadowed by over 2,000 quote tweets that ripped into their statements. But as it turned out, so was Kaden. Not everyone was on board with their response, especially when videos of Kaden using various slurs in the past surfaced. This 4-minute one of just super cuts of those moments even got age restricted. The pinned and top comment reads, quote, "I literally never heard any Rooster Teeth employee speak this wild. What a turn of events. How did this not come up before when they were working there?" Unquote. On Reddit, it was getting similar reactions. Overall, this was another moment of Rooster Teeth's declining reputation. The amount that had come out against the company has hardly been surprising, and its decline reputation was seemingly matching its financial decline that spurred even more desperate decision-making. Out of these 4 images, 3 of them are fast food designs. 2 of them you can purchase, and 1 of them is Rooster Teeth's new logo. The reason they all blend together is because they all lack the chattering teeth. The one with 3 simple colors and an R and rooster comb was particularly similar to Red Rooster, an Australian food chain. The comments reacting to Rooster Teeth's new logo were quick to point this out. As per a Variety article, when reaching out to Matt Holm, the change, quote, reflects Rooster Teeth's desire to stand out as opposed to blending in, unquote. The generic, minimalist design betrayed Holm's words and displeased virtually all who witnessed this change. This happened March 22nd. The displeasure surrounding the change was so great that in May, Rooster Teeth attempted to address it with a snide tweet. Quote, check on your friends who are still talking shit about the new logo. They need you more than you know, unquote. This could have been a strategy to try to rebrand its interactions as wild and zany, akin to how the Wendy's Twitter brand gained its popularity. But that was not Rooster Teeth, and that tweet was not remarkably clever or well received. The replies were nearly all of confusion and of disapproval. That's why Rooster Teeth deleted the tweet shortly after posting it. But it was screen captured and stood on other media sites as to continue the ridicule they so desperately tried to stop. The company was simply trying to hide anything embarrassing or anything that could hint at its continued decline. That was the Rooster Teeth Expo RTX recap for 2014. Not its largest turnout, but large nonetheless. Then this is RTX 2023 Day 1.
So many accomplished women.
If we pause right at 17 seconds, we see the largest crowd in this entire video. The rest was using select still images. The website also demonstrates a severe fear of wide shots. Where in previous years, Rooster Teeth would promote the growth of their conventions by sharing numbers, since 2018 they were quiet about the declining attendance, though the attendees were confirming it. Quote, it was definitely quieter than before COVID. But the show floor was bigger, was less panels, but more things to do. And the fact it was only the show floor plus 3 rooms, all across the ground floor and not across multiple floors on the convention center and multiple hotels shows how much smaller it was, unquote. Though it was small, it was well received for the attendees who had a more intimate experience. But reflecting on its size spelled trouble for Rooster Teeth. In 2023, their channels were unrecognizable. What started as trying to heavily push the once popular Rooster Teeth animations in early 2023 turned into pushing only the new cast members. New members that do not have a following typically need to be gradually introduced so the audience can get accustomed to them. That's why this premature launching of video after video that solely included these new cast members was almost guaranteed to fail, and that's why they were getting all below 25,000 views. Given a typical CPM, this could earn them maybe $100. That does not go very far to pay the new hosts or the production crew who are doing an excellent job with the quality. But that's the last thing that matters. Given that Rooster Teeth does not gain subscribers and content creators age alongside their audience, this new generation of significantly younger creators no doubt were not a perfect fit. This had gotten to the point that Achievement Hunter was performing better per video than the main channel Rooster Teeth, but then Achievement Hunter stopped making videos entirely. This was part of a new strategy. Though the videos stopped, the cast, that at this point only had one original cast member, decided to create a different channel and establish their own identity.
So we're here to announce that we're moving on to a new project called Dog Bark.
Oh! That's like that one. You'd like that one.
Their channel, Dog Bark, which is a nonsensical name, was very experimental. Achievement Hunter had become very podcast-driven, as had pretty much everything else Rooster Teeth. Dog Bark, however, was a large mix of videos ranging from skits, gaming videos, competitions, and challenges. It was really whatever the cast felt like making. The result was the only video that got over 100,000 views was the trailer. This was the last in a chain of changes that were meant to revolutionize Rooster Teeth. At this point, with the company near death, they were grabbing at whatever straws or strategies could just turn a profit.
Hey everybody, my name is Kerry Shawcross. If you don't know me, I'm a showrunner here at Rooster Teeth. Lately, some of you may have noticed that a lot of our big shows like Red vs. Blue and Cam Cam have gone from being on YouTube and our website to just our website. You might be asking yourself, why'd you guys do that? There's an honest answer, and that is YouTube revenue just is not cutting it for us anymore.
This was a push at short-term profit. Moving somewhat popular shows to their website could, for a few months, drive up revenue. But if a company, like Rooster Teeth, was set in existing in the long run, it would host its most popular shows on YouTube to prioritize discoverability against higher ad rates. Then even more funding was cut. In 2024, it was quickly announced that there would not be an RTX that year. And in March, it was announced that there wouldn't even be a Rooster Teeth. Quote, please remember something as you begin to read the below message, and definitely before you comment. We, all of us who work at Rooster Teeth, are processing this in real time, just like you. Since inheriting ownership and control of Rooster Teeth from AT&T following its acquisition of Time Warner, Warner Bros. Discovery continued its investment in our company, content, and community. Now, however, it's with a heavy heart and announced that Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. Unquote. To break this down, the reason they are closing is simply the hemorrhaging of money. But the reason cited, although they convey it was money, it pins the losses on the changing consumer market rather than the borderline self-destructive decisions the company has been making in the past years. From its SBOT strategy that was doomed from the start to the mismanagement and endless controversies, it was Rooster Teeth that created Frankenstein's monster. Yet the remaining core cast were always passionate about their work, staying until the bitter end.
It's really weird. It's really weird that it's not going to be here anymore. And it's really scary. And I don't know if a lot of us really reconciled with that quite yet.
I'm a co-founder, and I've been here for a little over 21 years. And I used to talk directly to you a lot in times of crisis in this company, and I'm sorry, but I'm not that guy anymore, and I don't have that in me. I'm so completely underwater emotionally right now, and my heart is broken for the wonderful people that are in this room and that are and have been associated with this company.
You've had to be the one to go in front of the audience countless times to defend us and to stand up for us and to be the voice for us when we felt like we couldn't speak for ourselves and we didn't know how to find the words or what to say. You did that for us. And I don't know if we've ever really showed you that gratitude. And you're just such a deeply good person, and my only wish is that everybody in this world could know the real person that you are, and how deeply good and kind and wonderful you are.
To get to work with all of you. And I'm just so proud of the people that you've become. I love you all so dearly.
On April 15th, Rooster Teeth released an update sharing its final date online. Quote, the Rooster Teeth website and apps will shut down on May 15th, 2024. Your support over the years as community members, sponsors, first members, Kickstarter and Indiegogo backers, viewers, regulation listeners, common leavers, RTX attendees, stream lurkers, and so many others has been invaluable. The news of us ending first and our site and apps is a hard one to share, as it makes this situation that much more real that Rooster Teeth will be closing soon. We know this is hard, for us and you all. But just know how grateful we are to have gotten to make silly stuff with you for the past 21 years. Unquote. Rooster Teeth was now releasing videos to ease into their departure. The most symbolic by far was one shy of 9 minutes titled Rooster Teeth Founders Play Halo for the Last Time. Lacking Joel Heyman, the four other founders, Bernie Burns, Matt Holm, Jeff Ramsey, and Gus Rella play Combat Evolved for one final time. The technical issues during the process only amplified their personalities and seemed par for the course.
Oh. The fact that the screen is going black every 2 seconds is perfect. I don't know who designed this. I think it's wonderful.
Very par for the course.
This video was far more popular than anything else Rooster Teeth released in the previous years. Just 4 friends on a couch. And no matter what Rooster Teeth tried, it could not replicate what this video was to save its life.
It's like non-stop.
Non-stop.
God. It's off now. It's off. We're just up there.
Fucking so stupid.
If anybody wants to buy Red 3, it's the Griff controller, hook me up.
I'm keeping this one. I gave myself the biggest controller.
Reloading. Confirming next hardpoint. Stand by. Incoming. Enemy. Intibu. Grenade. Move. Hardpoint compromised.
Bro, every Chupo video is literally like, here is a unique thing that you never really thought about. We are going to point out that actually is the reason why World War II happened. It's like, how did you, what? What are you saying? How? I'm saying it. We are moving on from British cuisine to the bread tab conspiracy. 93 billion disappeared. We don't know where the money is going. Well, I can tell you, it's being used as gifted subs in the Hassan Abi broadcast so that people don't see the top of the hour ad break. That's right, because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, right? And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free. I have no idea what a bread tab is. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
Bread tabs are one of those things that we never really think about. We don't ask questions like, why are these here? Or why aren't they there? Why are they tall? What do the numbers mean? Why are there teeth? Or why aren't there teeth? 30 years.
Now we know what bread tabs are. Thank you, Chupel, for describing it to us. Hold on.
What do the numbers mean? Why are there teeth? Or why aren't there teeth? 30 years ago, a man in San Francisco asked these.
So if you guys...
What?
Are you awake? Do you even want to be here?
Can I have another one of these? One of these,
yeah, can you grab me one too?
Yeah, dude, for sure. I didn't think I was gonna have another one.
Who yawns during a YouTube intro? There's another guy who kind of looks like me called Gunner TV. He made a video on it too, on Andrew Tate clones. I've also talked about Judah Cuz before. It's just a child on Instagram who was kind of preaching Escape the Matrix stuff. And since then, there's been a whole lot more kids yapping about the Matrix on Instagram. Andrew Tate has really had a profound effect on this next generation of hustlers.
There was one night recently where Gunner and I just kind of started, we just kind of started sending each other these children, and like, we couldn't stop. I just remember I was scrolling through Instagram Reels one night and they just kept coming.
There's a lot of them.
They just kept like popping up on my feed, and I was like, we have to cover this. And Gunner was like, are you sure, man? Like, we can't make fun of the kids. And I was like, are we making fun of them? In the nature of what we do, kind of. But I think you will see that there is plenty to reasonably be criticized here.
And just to rewind again, we weren't just sending kids videos back and forth. I think what Andy meant to say is we were just kind of sharing videos that happened to have children in them. It wasn't.
You should just start the video.
We're gonna start now.
All right, so this is by Vlad Correa. Why don't you go partying? Oh. This is the first one that I found. Because I sent this to Gunner and I was like, genuinely,
Genuinely, what does this mean to you? Like, what does it mean? We all know about the Lamborghini in a field of sheep.
Do you know how metaphors work, dude?
I understand the metaphor that he's trying to make, but he's not doing it right.
No, he's talking about people are sheep and he is fast car.
Wow, dude, I guess that just proves his point. I guess I'm just a sheep.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he's trying to say, why the Lamborghini?
He's rich.
But
He's
why
powerful.
should a sheep in a Lamborghini ever
I think you're reading into the metaphor too much, man.
But it's the only thing we're given in the video. How can I not?
Yeah, I feel like this at parties too, where I just kind of want to run over everybody.
Yeah, where everyone's just kind of, having a calm time, running around, and I just start filling the room with carbon monoxide, revving my engines.
I just want to run them over my car. All right, my turn. My kid's more alpha than yours.
My kid's more alpha.
My kid's more touchy than yours. Not so fast, suspicious white boys. First, I have a really cool sponsor to tell you about. If you're an avid viewer of the channel, you know what I'm about to say. This video is sponsored by Aura. Look, there's data brokers out there who want to sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target you. Just by Googling your name or email, you'd be surprised just how much other stuff people can find out about you, like your address, relatives, or health records. As a test, I searched up my own brother-in-law, found a ton of private information out there, and called him to let him know. Hey, so I looked up your address online just by using your name. How does that make you feel?
Whoa, that's crazy. So you just used my full name?
Yeah, that easy.
I feel that's a breach of confidence. How did you get my full name?
You are my brother-in-law.
It still stands.
He was shocked, but he doesn't have to worry anymore because Aura identifies those data brokers selling his information and submits opt-out requests on his behalf. Just recently, AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records were released on the dark web, and they recommended that those affected use strong passwords, monitor account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from credit bureaus. Well, suckers, Aura already does that for me right now. All of that stuff. Look, I've been working with Aura for over a year now. That's longer than any of my relationships have ever lasted because I trust them. It's a simple, affordable, one-stop shop solution that just protects you across the internet and you don't have to think about it. So get yourself over to aura.com/GunnerTV Live to start your 2-week free trial, and don't wait until next month when I tell you to do it again. I'm gonna keep nagging you. That's aura.com/GunnerTV Live. Go there or I'll assemble my child army of Andrew Tate clones to strike. First threat and an ad read. Hope they're okay with that. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video.
Passive money I'm right now. I got school tomorrow. I've been staying up overnight working on my businesses. But watch, 2 months from now, I'm gonna be chilling in Dubai, meeting my role models, being able to travel the world. Just wait and see.
One of me and Gunner's biggest gripes with these kids is they all want to go to fucking Dubai. And it doesn't.
All Dubai.
They always say, and when you see me out in Dubai, why? What are you going to do in Dubai as a 14-year-old?
I don't trust a 14-year-old alone in Dubai with like his role models. Like,
I don't trust the 14-year-old kid alone at a CVS.
All right, my kid's better, and he's going to Dubai.
Right, so he's going to Dubai.
He's going to Dubai.
Let's see what my next kid has. Actually, for every 2 of your kids, we should do one of mine because I only brought 3, apparently.
Okay, let's look at a classic judo one. We can share this one.
While everybody's staring at this eclipse, guess who cares? Not me. While you're staring at the eclipse for 3 hours, you could be making money for 3 hours. So go make money. Nobody cares about the eclipse with your little goggles, unless you're 6 years old.
Bro,
follow me for more tips like
he
this.
Has the most,
what I was gonna say,
he has the most updated goggles.
He had the goggles.
Unless you're 6 years old.
Once you bought these things that you could only get on Amazon or local gas stations, you really kind of go after your way out of them to find them.
Also, another thing, it doesn't take 3 hours to look at the eclipse.
Yeah.
And another thing, I mean, this isn't very relatable, but technically both you and I were passively making money while the eclipse was happening. So.
Oh, you're gonna flex on this kid?
Look, I'm just
Technically,
saying,
we were getting ad revenue while this fucker.
I'm just saying, if he wants to shit on us at 14 years old, then. Sorry, I need to see this video right now.
What's up, guys? I'm gonna keep this short this week. My goal for this account is to educate you guys on all the new things in the world that I learn every day. Let me show you my setup real quick. Here is what I do my work on.
Okay, all right. Hey, I was showing you a solar eclipse video. It's kind of funny how fast he aged up too. Like this is only like a few weeks.
He did.
This is 2 weeks ago. This was 40 weeks ago. That's how fast he's going through puberty.
Wow.
Anyway, that's my kid.
Man, they really love the N-word on Instagram.
That's my